When the world's leading companies need corporate direction or winning marketing strategies, they turn to our next guest. Rana, Florida is CEO of the Creative Class Group and author of the new book, Upgrade, where she reveals the secrets of some of the world's best business minds that we can now apply to live a better life. Rana, Florida joins us in studio. Good morning.
Good morning.
Good morning. Welcome. My favorite anecdote is that you hate meetings.
Oh my gosh.
Now, how do you run a big company without meetings? Because I sort of feel the same way, but they seem like a bit of a necessity.
Yeah, well, I talk about it in the book, and I say most meetings are a complete and utter waste of time, and a lot of us dread going to meetings. But I think if you're going to have a meeting, you must keep it under 60 minutes, and you must have an agenda, and you have to have next steps. Otherwise, what is the point of gathering a meeting in the first place? So a lot of organizations don't effectively manage meetings, and they just schedule the entire day back-to-back with meetings, so then you can never really accomplish your real work.
And don't you find a lot of meetings are just, it's like deja vu. It's Groundhog Day. You keep talking about the same thing sometimes. You're thinking, well, if we just had a plan and executed that plan, and then we can have a meeting to revisit and say, did we make it?
Yes, exactly. And a lot of people are now trying standing up meetings. So you're not getting too comfortable laying back, doing nothing. You're standing up, you're thinking about what the next steps are, and you get out of the meeting much more quickly.
Through your work, you've had an incredible opportunity to meet some pretty impressive people who you sort of quote and learn from in this book. But running a business and helping other businesses run, and then helping someone run their life, when did you say, I think I have a book in this?
Well, it took a while. I started as a relationship columnist for newspapers across Canada and in Detroit with my 3 sisters, and we were doling out advice about work, life, and family. And then I worked my whole life to get a corporate job. So I went to business school, I graduated, and I landed an amazing job just outside of Washington, D.C. And then one day I realized this is a sham. This is not as exciting and glamorous as I thought. I was spending tons of time commuting to work. I was stuck in meetings all day. And then I took the leap and I joined the Creative Class Group, and I went into full startup mode.
Yeah, there's one quote in here from the book that I sort of says sums it up in terms of when you sort of realized your aha moment. Many of us get caught up, as I did, in the linear path of life: college, graduate school, career, and family, which keeps us on the treadmill of unfulfilling work, suffering through long commutes and living from paycheck to paycheck. And then we look around, we see our friends' lives have been upgraded. And you said, I'm going to take risks. Like your father did, who came to North America with $120 at the age of 18. Brave man.
Right. A lot of us are afraid to take risks. So I had to leave my cushy paycheck and my safety net of my job, and I was my own one-stop shop. And one day I looked down and I was wearing fuzzy slippers and pajamas at 3 o'clock in the afternoon, and there was no HR department to call for employee relations or finance department to call for balancing my budgets. And I realized I'm my own one-stop shop, but I was so glad I took the risk because I learned so much as I grew and developed.
So how do you talk to people and get them to change? Because I would imagine most people, their excuse is, look, I don't really have time, but I want to make things different. I want to upgrade my life. But how do you get them to do that?
Well, the great thing is, so I started this column called in the Huffington Post called Your Startup Life, and I interviewed a number of people, not just successful CEOs and corporate executives and leading managers, but a graffiti artist, a rocket scientist, a star athlete, Andre Agassi, fashion designer, Tory Burch, even President Bill Clinton. And after about 30 or so interviews, I realized that they each had 7 common themes in common, and that's what I wrote about in the book. And there are these little steps you can take. It's not one big magic bullet that you can change your life tomorrow, but little simple things that you can put into place to upgrade your life.
Now, Rana, do you find that there's a lot of confusing advice out there? Because I know as a woman, with the whole lean in movement, I think, do I lean in? Do I lean back in order to do well in my career? Do I balance work? What do I prioritize? How do you do it in your own life?
Yeah, well, what I learned from these leading thinkers is a work-life balance. So it's not these separate silos of going to work and then having little time for family and little time for yourself, but finding a way to integrate the two and making them all work together.
I know that Nelly Furtado gave you some great advice about failure.
Oh yeah, she looks at failure as a time to regrow and learn and regroup and take a time to reflect. And a lot of people think of failure as a terrible black mark, and they're afraid to take chances and they're afraid to take risks. But what I learned from these successful entrepreneurs and leaders is that failure is a time to just think and regroup, and it's not a terrible thing, and it's a great thing that you actually took a chance.
You also address about when you do something that you hate, but you do it well.
I learned this lesson from Andre Agassi. Who would think that Andre Agassi, a world's most amazing tennis player, hated playing tennis? But he made it about something else. He made it about his passion for education, and he started an amazing fund for children.
Which now, what, millions of dollars have gone to educating.
Yeah, exactly. And I got this great advice from Dan Pink, author of the best-selling book called Drive. And a lot of us say, what's my passion? What's my passion? I can't find what I love doing, and I can't get paid to do what I love doing. He says, forget about the word passion. Take a look at what you're doing in your free time when no one's looking. And then think about ways to incorporate that activity into your life on a daily basis.
What did Clinton teach you?
He's amazing. His first lesson on leadership was as an entrepreneur selling comic books in a grocery store at the age of 13. And he said he was empowered through that offer of learning to have leadership in his own life at the age of 13.
What's the greatest change you've made since putting this book together, or in putting this book together?
I just think that taking these tips and putting them into effect in every part of my life is amazing. And I think time management, one thing that I learned from everyone is how fiercely they protect their time. And so I distilled that there are only 3 things to do with your life. Have fun. So everyone's definition of having fun is completely different. Be productive, work on yourself, go to school, work on your job, and give back. So giving back gives your life a sense of purpose and meaning, and being productive gives you a sense of accomplishment. So those 3 things and balancing those 3 things.
And who doesn't love an upgrade? Name of the book, Upgrade, Taking Your Work and Life from Ordinary to Extraordinary. Rana, Florida, thank you so much. And congratulations, a lot of buzz, a lot of choice around being chosen as the book to read this month.
Absolutely. I'm
Appreciate
excited.
it.
Thanks.
Coming up.